Today, California is planning to launch a monkeypox vaccine appointment portal through the MyTurn website developed for COVID-19. That as the state is monitoring the second highest case numbers of that virus in the country, with more than 1,300 confirmed infections. Still, there is a lot of confusion about exposure to monkeypox, and since at least 5 American children have contracted it, what the concern might be for the start of the school year. To clear all of that up, we turn to epidemiologist Brad Pollock, the chairman of the Department of Public Health Services at UC Davis. Welcome back to Fox 40 News at 11.
Thanks, and Sarah, glad to be back.
I have to ask you first about something the Food and Drug Administration announced last week that just really has me pretty perplexed. And basically, right now we're trying to get all of the information out when it comes to getting vaccines to everybody who wants them. And so the FDA's new plan to do that is to give smaller vaccine doses, in essence, reducing the amount each person gets. That just doesn't seem to make very much sense to a layperson like me. Unlike COVID, monkeypox has been around for a while, so it seemed logical that the established dosing was what was deemed most effective to begin with.
Well, yeah, so they're doing a reduced dose, but they're administering the dose differently. So this the old way of doing it was to actually inject the vaccine right into the muscle. And the newer method is to actually do it just below the skin surface. It's called subcutaneous injection. So it turns out that the antibody response that you get is actually much stronger when you do the sub-Q injection. So I think they feel that there's pretty equal protection using the new dosing scheme, but administered a little bit differently.
Okay, well, that makes a lot more sense now. We just went through the height of the COVID-19 pandemic in which the country learned how crucial plentiful testing and vaccine access was. And yet now that monkeypox has been declared a national public health emergency, testing is being restricted and vaccines seem scarce in some areas. Did we just forget as a country what works best in these situations?
No, it turns out because these viruses are so different, the way you test for them is very different. And unfortunately, with monkeypox, we don't really have a good blood test available. So, or you don't have, you essentially have to find somebody who has active disease and actually sample from the lesions themselves, these little monkeypox lesions. And then that is examined, the lesions are then examined for the presence of the virus. But that's a lot different than just doing a nasal swab or even having a blood assay available. So the testing is just different because the virus is so different. It's not so much that it's a lack of testing availability, but rather the way that you have to test is different. You have to find somebody who's got that active lesion. And because the infection takes a couple weeks to really lock in there, until you actually get these small lesions on the skin, you really don't have a way of detecting the virus. So it's very different than SARS-CoV-2, where we have very sensitive tests that let you look at nasal cavity, as well as even some antibody tests that we have in the blood. So it's very, very different.
So important to get these answers from somebody like you, because like I said, to everybody looking on, it seems like we just did this. How are we having problems? But because they're so different, this makes a lot more sense now. 96% of the roughly 8,000 cases in the country are among gay and bisexual men. Skin-to-skin contact, intimate contact with someone infected is the way this virus spreads most often. But the CDC does point to one study that shown monkeypox can live on surfaces for up to 15 days. And I've heard people locally wondering if it's safe to be touching tables at restaurants without additional wipe downs. So what's the deal with this part of it, doctor?
Yeah, well, I think we certainly know that it's theoretically possible for the virus to survive on surfaces, but whether or not that survival and the amount of virus that's still viable is actually capable of causing an infection, most of us believe that it's not, that you need to have fairly recent contact with the virus, not something that's been sitting on a surface for a long period of time. So there's the theoretical possibility, just like there was, if you remember, at the beginning of the COVID pandemic, we were worried about scrubbing down our grocery bags from the store and everything else. And it turned out, while that was a theoretical possibility, you know, there was just no practical spread that way. So this monkeypox is primarily done skin-to-skin transmission. You can get secretions that go on to sheets, towels, even clothes that would then be coming in contact with somebody else fairly recently, that you could get transmission. But the thought really is that the primary way of doing the spread is really by being with somebody and in close contact and actually having the skin-to-skin contact. That's really probably accounting for most of the disease.
Alrighty. The antiviral treatment for monkeypox has been known for a while, but as I understand it, it's still considered experimental, so there's a huge process and a lot of paperwork to get it approved for each patient.
Yeah, the one that's designed specifically for monkeypox is still being used under EUA circumstances, not the full approval. Just so you understand, that people that got an original smallpox vaccination probably have about 85% protection to this monkeypox virus. So many of us that are older got a routine smallpox vaccination when we were kids. So they're going to have some protection that came from that original vaccination. The monkeypox vaccine itself, it still hasn't been used in massive, large numbers like it has with SARS-CoV-2. So it still has the EUA designation, but it looks like it's very effective, though, at preventing infection and blocking transmission. So again, the issue is trying to gear up the vaccine production and distribution fast enough to keep up with the rising number of cases.
Alrighty, and quickly before we run out of time, we're going to switch quickly to another virus-based threat, the infectious disease of polio, basically eradicated in 1979, but it was just found to be circulating in New York City thanks to wastewater testing. Polio? Polio? Yeah. What's going on here, doctor? What's happening to us?
Well, first of all, you put your finger on the wastewater monitoring, which has become a more increasingly important way of detecting disease in the community. We've seen that with COVID. We've seen that with other diseases. And now we're looking at polio kind of resurfacing. Again, there are unvaccinated people, and they're most likely to actually generate a polio infection. So, and they can secrete that into wastewater, and they can also theoretically infect other people. So the wastewater monitoring is a good way of doing surveillance in a large population. But yeah, polio may be a bit on the rise. I'll just share with you that a year and a half ago, before I was getting ready to go to Africa, even though I had the full polio vaccination series as a kid, my physician said, yeah, I recommend getting another little booster for polio.
Okay.
It is still there. It was eradicated, technically speaking, but there were stores of it still. And so we're seeing, I don't think it's a large public health scare because, again, we had such massive amount of vaccination earlier on. But it is something that we keep track of, like all emerging infectious diseases now.
And that's definitely important to do. Thank you so much for helping us understand the ins and outs of some very complicated things that are happening in our country when it comes to trying to attack these public health threats. We appreciate you.